Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. My name is Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. I am your Dragon Slayer Crone and Word Witch. To my side, we have Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook, and she is our traveling crystal crone. Looks like she's home this week, though. Wasn't last week. How's everything going over there, Krista?
Oh, they're going well. And yes, you are correct. I was traveling last week, and this week we arrived last night. So we got home just in time to get a good night's sleep so that I could join everyone from my kitchen.
So glad to see you. So hello, everybody who's joining us now. Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfy, get a beverage if you like. Hello, Harry. How are you doing today? Hi, everybody that's coming on in. Like I said, make yourself comfortable. We got a lot to go over this week. I don't know. It's summer. Things have been like really interesting weather-wise. And this last week for me has been full of a lot of activities. Like my sister was playing at Freedom Park in Scotia, New York a couple nights ago. We had to literally like drive into what could have been a tornado. We had tornado watches, and we were heading right for where it was coming from. But it ended up having a beautiful evening. Other friends of ours were playing at different restaurants around town and stuff, and it's just been a busy week. And I know that you went away to visit some people too. So it's been kind of a busy week for you as well.
It has. It has. So yeah. So last, a week ago, Friday, we drove down, Saturday. A week ago, Saturday, we drove down to Fairfax, Virginia, to help our daughter. At the time, we thought we were helping her move in to her first place with her roommates. However, things kind of went sideways, and all for the best. Talk about definitely woo-woo coming in to play nice. With that. But yes, so she went to so we went down though still with all her stuff and all her belongings, got it sorted and into a U-Haul storage facility. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes that buffering is happening, but got her into a storage facility, which really was kind of a smooth transition. We had never really done that before, so for us it was a first time, and really found a great place to eat after that. Just gotta throw that out there. But then we ran, But then after we spent 6 days with Jen down there in Fairfax, we made our way up to see my sister-in-law who lives in the hills of Pennsylvania, a small town called Lawton, which is so cute. I have to say, it's a very cute place. And it reminds me, it's small because there are no traffic lights. So I always say I lived in a small town in Maine in my high school years, but we had one flashing light and one traffic light. So by comparison, we were a metropolis, but it was really, really, really great. So we went there and spent the weekend, and we got to do some pretty neat things. I went on a four-wheeler for the first time since I was like 15. It was really cool. Our nephew drove it. And Kevin had never been on one before because, of course, he grew up in city life where I grew up, in various not city life environments. And so, yeah, it was really kind of cool. But yeah, it was really great to reconnect with our nephews who we hadn't seen. I know we last saw him for sure in 2007.
Mhm.
However, I think that it was actually 2009 that we definitely that definitely was the last time we saw them. Because when we left for Australia in 2014. The only people we saw were my sister-in-law and her husband. So yeah, it was really, really fun to catch up with everyone. And the views on the mountain were amazing. Yeah. Yeah, we did a lot of porch sitting, and I did not mind it except for the heat.
Yeah.
The one thing,
it was pretty hot all the way up and down the seaboard. I mean, you're feeling it here. It was 91 the other day.
Yeah.
And 94% humidity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like breathing through a straw, like somebody standing on your chest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. So we're back now. And Kevin and I became very inspired. It's like, okay, we're coming home and we're going to get focused on actually unpacking, finishing the unpacking, getting things on the wall, getting the spaces actually set up. So yeah, that's our focal point now. We're like turning in to get that stuff all done.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That's wonderful. Honestly, your place looked pretty well set up, although I didn't get into any private areas or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're doing so much better than you think you are, sweetheart.
Thank you. I love you. I needed that, but
absolutely. And I love that you and Kevin came back and you're like, time to get to work, right? Because I've been feeling that same kind of energy. Time to get to work. This is the solstice has opened everything up. We're into summer now. We are into the long days and the cool nights, and oh my goodness, just weather coming out of the woodwork, if you will.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sue. We want to say hi to Rebecca's joining us today as well. Phenomenal. Thank you so much.
That's
Tracy,
awesome.
Yeah.
And Rebecca's in New Zealand, right?
Yes. So she's like, this is like, what, midnight for you, Rebecca? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's late. So thank you for joining us.
yeah, absolutely. Love to have you here. I also want to say a huge shout out and thank you to our partner sister companies, if you will. We've been talking about Sue at Class Act Imports for a long time. She's been with us from the very beginning, a huge supporter. The fact that she's Krista's mom is a side effect.
Just a side thing. Yep, for sure.
And I love seeing the posts that she's been putting out recently about the upcoming crystal of the week. So pretty much any of the crystals that we focus upon on this show, rest assured you can get them from Sue at Class Act Imports. And if not directly, she can find you where you can find them. Because nobody has the space to inventory all of the gems of the world.
No.
So use them, right?
Yeah.
And then secondly, also, we have a newer company that's coming up among the Woo family, which is lovely. Magic Hat, and they're just full of yummies. This week's special is the strawberry moon pies. So if you like fresh, homemade moon pies, not spongy, processed cakes in a plastic wrapper, reach out to Tracy Paquin at Magic Hat. and I've had her shortbread. They're delicious. All right, so
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
her whoopie pies are amazos, folks. Oh, and Rebecca, you're now back in UK. Yay.
yes, yes,
Yay. So now
awesome,
she's only 5 hours behind or ahead of us. So
right?
yes.
That's all. So it's
Excellent.
almost dinner time. Thanks for joining us. Oh,
Yeah.
and also Sue's reminding me that there is a special deal for all of the audience of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. We like to call you the Coven of Joy.
That's right.
And all you have to do is mention the Three Crones and you will receive the special deal. And also, Krista, I know you've got a special add-on as well for people that mention Three Crones.
Do I? Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you. I'm like, what is it? Again, buffering. Oh no, seriously, if you mention Three Crones and you're ordering from Sue, she'll let me know, and then I go and I infuse it with Reiki, whatever it is that you order, and I just fill it with yummy tummy goodness just for you. And yeah, and then sometimes it all depends. You guys sometimes get added treats in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have way too much fun. It's fun being next door to Class Act Imports.
Yes, no kidding. No kidding. Awesome. Which reminds me, I got to find time to come visit again.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, for sure.
We're occupied with huge amounts of entertaining people from all over the world. Yeah.
That definitely. It was that weekend was a little bit stretch, and possibly when it doesn't feel like it's 10 below zero and downpouring rain, that probably also would help.
Right. Well, I want to tell you guys, everybody, both Krista and I have been doing a little bit of research behind the scenes, okay? Because we both want to start offering you exciting destination events, right?
Yeah.
So I got a notice earlier this week that the Ruggles mine in New Hampshire has just reopened. It's been closed since 2016, went through the hands of a couple of people that really didn't know what to do with it. And then it's finally been sold to a mineralogist.
Mineralogist.
Thank
mineralogist. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So at any rate, it's reopened. I've talked to a couple of local people here in Bennington that run the local shop and are members of the Mineralogical Society in the Northeast Kingdom. And she said there's a lot of mica there, right? So you got to be willing to sift through the mica, if you will, to get at the other things. But the other things include quartz, this week's crystal of the week, the clear quartz, amethyst, and garnet, right?
Yes.
And it's not that far from us. So we may be looking into that one. I know you want to do a dig in Herkimer. So why don't you guys put in in the comments, if you will, if you want a destination event in New Hampshire or New York.
New York.
Too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Upstate New York or New Hampshire.
Yeah. And I'm hoping I need to do some more research for Maine. But Maine has tourmaline mines. Ooh. And watermelon tourmaline in particular. But I haven't done the research for that yet. I just know that that's their crystal of their state gem, if you will. And long ago when I lived up there, I kept hearing of the tourmaline. You could go dig in the tourmaline mines. So I just need to do some more research on that. And I actually have a friend who is what is she? She's a she works with the ground and geology. She's like a geologist, and she lives actually in Vermont now. She was our kid's tutor in Washington State. Okay. And we call her the world's greatest tutor. Her name is Tegan, and she's the world's greatest tutor. And she now lives there in Vermont. So I'm going to reach out to her and say, hey, Tegan, do you know of any really super cool minds also in that area? Because, or great places that you can go mineral hunting, because she knows that that's something that I enjoy doing.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear back about that. So yeah, we're definitely like reaching out, looking for different things to do. And also, yeah, maybe we'll put up a poll or something like this, because I want some people that want to go on a cruise. You want to go on
that
a cruise?
Would be fun. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I think that we could do that. And then, we'd have to decide what kind of cruise. You and I are going to have a conversation about that.
Definitely. But just from like a visualization's point of view, right? Something warm, sunny, with massages and meditation times.
Oh,
and
of course.
Food and really cute guys in tight Speedos. Oh, you don't
I'm not sure about the tight guys in Speedos. I've been on a couple of cruises, and I've never seen guys in tight Speedos. And I've done I haven't done Mediterranean, but I've done European cruises.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, tight Speedos. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
No, I might be just getting old here. As long as they aren't the one piece with the stripes, I'm good. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and also, oh yes, definitely. Sue wants to go on the cruise with us. Beautiful.
There
Lovely.
we go.
So I want to make sure all of you keep your eye out in the groups for upcoming posts about where Three Crones and the Woo Woo is going to be at their festivals that they're making appearances at this summer, as well as Magic Hat, and wherever Krista or I may pop up in the mix of all of that. But yeah, we love to have you come out and see us at these other events if they're in your area. All right.
Exactly.
Fantastic. All right, my dear, let's start this interesting. All right. So, did you catch that little screen? We've got the sun in Cancer and the moon in Aquarius. What were you going to say? You're feeling
I was going to say, I actually missed the screen because I had a fashion show happening in front of me.
Oh,
it wasn't a Speedo, but
Well, essentially today we're dealing with the sun in Cancer and the moon in Aquarius. So we've got this very watery, emotional feeling sign of Cancer. I don't even want to know what's going on behind your camera. And then we've got the Aquarius, which is an air sign. And what happens when water and air get together? Bubbles. They don't mix so much. They don't become a new solution, but you get these bubbles. So, you might be feeling with a lot of having a lot of feelings, right? And you might be attracted, fascinated, and repulsed all at once. So it's an interesting day. It promises to be fun as long as you're really willing to just be in the mix, right? You may not know what to do with your feelings. You might want to run from them. You might want to squash them. You want to analyze them or even ignore them, like pretend that they don't exist. However you do it is absolutely fine, because you can't deal with all of it at once. You're going to be juggling today. You're going to be, what's next? Okay, got that one. What's next? Kind of thing, right? Time for feelings, time for thoughts. Enter each space wholly, deeply, and thoughtfully. All right. Cancer may find Aquarius cold. Aquarius may find Cancer chaotic. And then there they go. Best of buddies again.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be an interesting day. Have fun with it. pretend it's your roller coaster of the week, you know? Awesome. All right, moving on from there.
And here are some of the stickers. Oh wait, here's the best one. And I'm back, and I actually know where the stickers are. So yes, if you want stickers, let me know. Reach out.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Okay, so I wanted to do a check about the about quartz, and I'm gonna let you know. I pulled out my crystal healer, the crystal healer book. I absolutely love Philip. He is amazing. He's actually going to be coming back. He comes back to the States here soon to teach classes. I need to see if I can find a place up here locally. It'd be so cool if he would come. So in any case, I digress. But I wanted to check what zodiacs he said, because it was you were talking about the air and water and how it creates the bubbles. And so I wanted to ensure, I was like, I think it's all, and I was right. It is all of the zodiacs. So it doesn't matter in terms of a zodiac. I'm just going to give in reference to this. Which one you are, they all are in our chart. If I learned one thing from the time that Damaris, the 2 years Damaris was with us, is that we all have all of them in our chart. They're just in various places, kind of like we have all the planets, right? In various places. So, but I love the fact that you were saying that you can feel everything all at once, and kind of not. And kind of not know how to take it all in. So the thing that I love about, well, let's rewind just a bit. Let me tell you a bit about this, and then I'm going to tell you what my other thought was.
Awesome.
Okay, so clear quartz is an amplifier, right? It is used in electronics to do that. It is used in electronics to amplify, to messages and waves through radio. I mean, you guys may have heard of the crystal radio. It was clear. It was clear quartz was the crystal, right? And you hear of timepieces with crystals in it. Now, granted, they all aren't clear quartz. Frequently, they use other things like sapphires, rubies, but clear quartz was the other one that they used. So it is an amplifier. It is a great stone. When we're talking about emotions, it's going to amplify your emotions. It's going to amplify the good ones. It's going to amplify the bad ones. It's going to amplify confusion. Now, what you're probably like, well, then why the hell do I need that in my life? Right? Especially if you're like, I feel like it's always bad. No. Here's where I'm going to go with it. When you feel like those emotions are overwhelming, take a breath, pause, breathe in, and then breathe out. Do that a few times, because what's happening is you're actually not intaking enough oxygen. When that overwhelm feeling starts to happen, you're not bringing enough oxygen in. So your nervous system doesn't know how to calm down. Bring it in, and then rather than reacting to what's going on, be curious about what's going on. Use the fact that clear quartz is amplifying it as a way of saying, I need to be curious versus I need to react. Because you can become proactive through the place of curiosity versus being reactive in that moment. So it's a really great stone. Now think back, we've had for this month, last week was blue kyanite, and the week prior was blue lace agate.
Yep.
No,
And then
or Baltic. It was Baltic. Was blue lace agate or Baltic amber? Because I knew that I think
we had 3 blue in a row.
Yeah. All right. And so all of that is about essentially communication and how we're communicating. So we're still, if you think about it, in this communication, whether it's how we have the conversations with ourselves, how we have conversations with others. And the clear quartz is there. It's amplifying that. It's amplifying the communication. It's amplifying the energy of summer, right? The energy of this season, the energy of light. Because we've had that. Well, actually now we're going from light into darkness because, we're now counting down to winter solstice. I know you're like, but we just started summer. What do you mean I'm counting down to winter solstice? But because from the day of summer solstice, now our days start getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it doesn't seem like it quite at the moment because we all remember all the light of summer, during the summer months. But that's
and our hearts go out to you, mothers of young children that don't understand why they have to go to sleep when it's light out.
Yeah, exactly. Been there with you. I'll tell you, dark shades are amazing.
Yes.
The darkening shades, absolutely. I think one of the greatest inventions.
Right.
But yeah, so it's really here to help us with that. Be in the space of curiosity. Be in that energy of wanting to learn, not just from yourself and others, but from what is showing up around. They are great. That is a great teacher. It really is when you're able to keep yourself in that place of curiosity.
Nice.
Yes. And I'm going to say that Sue at Class Act Imports has some really beautiful faceted quartz. If you haven't seen it yet on her page, you got to go check it out. Sorry, go ahead, Gayle.
You're fine. I was just going to add, there's a lot to know about quartz. I mean, it's very, very simple. It's clear. It's, forthright as far as it's definitely an amplifier. It's also an energy of consistency because that's one of the reasons why they use it in the watches is because in compressed, it emits a signal on a consistent, time basis, right? Now, above and beyond that, start looking when you're looking for quartz crystal for yourself, for whatever you're going to use it for. The shape of it, right? The faces on it mean a lot, all right? And as far as what it can do. When you find necklaces, oftentimes you'll find the quartz necklaces, they're pointed down to the ground. That's to amplify grounding you, so you don't get all spacey up in your head, right? If you got a 2-point, then
it balances.
It's the balance of the conduit from heaven to earth, right? And going through you. So there's a lot of different reasons to have different shapes quartz crystals. Now, I'll tell you a little story. I had one beautiful scepter. It wasn't a scepter. It was it's like the monument. What the heck is that shape? Obelisk.
Oh, an obelisk. Yes.
Yes. So it was an obelisk of quartz that had some cracks through it that made some beautiful rainbow inclusions, which also have added properties of their own. And the tip of it was a transmitter receiver. Okay. Now, I at that time was running an online writer's site, if you will. We would role play writing in characters that lived inside of a certain universe, the Dresden verse, or creating our own characters that could survive in that universe. And there were literally people on this site from all over the world, Australia, England, Spain, everywhere. So there was writing going on all times of the day and night. I was writing with a woman who is a very powerful witch. I mean, we're not talking about pretending or, being interested in the lifestyle. She was an active practitioner. And it got to the point for me where I was compelled to be on the site awful lot. We had a storyline that was going, and I was on the site with her writing day and night, and was not able to look for a job. I was unemployable. Like, my focus was on this site, right? That crystal was outside on my patio where I would write. One night, we had a windstorm. Crystal broke, fell off the shelf that it was on, and shattered. The relationship between me and that woman and that writing site also shattered, which I've realized she was controlling me through that crystal. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. So be aware that crystals can be portals for those who know how to use them, and make sure that you have your space protected, whether it's, your warding, whether it's a grid, whether it's simple intention and, 9 steel pins and a clove of garlic over the front door. I don't care, right? Protect your space, because there is access points that can be utilized by people who would like to utilize them. Now, I don't think that she had anything evil in her space, like she, was trying to ruin my life or anything like that. No, she just wanted her best writing buddy to be there with her when she wanted to write, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily for a bad purpose, but the impact of it was a bad purpose in my life, because it did not allow me the time and the energy to go do other things that I should have been doing as well, right?
Yeah.
So
there was there was no reciprocity, and I was explaining that over the weekend, the power of reciprocity, and about how you can shut things down for people by just as something as simple as receiving a gift and trying to and thinking you're being polite, refusing it, whatever that gift may be, and like, oh no, you don't do that. It's always about gratitude. It's about thank you, because it keeps things open for everybody. And then what she was doing is using your own talents and your own abilities that you had for her gain. And and so there was nothing.
Taking my choice out of the equation. She was in effect, she was robbing me of my choice.
Yeah.
In doing what she did, right?
Yeah.
Now, along the lines of what you're saying, my favorite example for that is compliments. Because, oh, you look lovely today. Oh, what, this whole thing? Why don't you just slap me in the face?
Yeah,
because
exactly. That's another. Yes.
And you threw it back at me as if it was worthless.
Yep.
Right. So like you said, Krista, you don't have to give a compliment back out of obligation.
No.
Okay. You don't have to do that. And in fact, sometimes it's even more powerful to just receive that compliment. Let it in and allow the other person to get the pleasure out of giving that compliment.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we do this because we've been told as children, they said something nice to you, say something nice back. But that becomes that reactive energy where you're completely glossing over the gift that you've been given and giving back another gift so that the focus is not on you. So you're not uncomfortable. And again, the gift in that moment is shunted aside for no good purpose.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Precisely. Yeah. So keep that in mind. The power, it goes back to the power of words, which of course is Gayle's thing. It's all about the words. So yes, This is what clear quartz looks like, and other forms. This is a cluster. That's a cluster of them. And one day that I would love to have something quite beautiful like that. I have this beautiful point that wanted to come and play, and I use it. Look at it. It has lots of beautiful windows, and I think it's so pretty because you can actually see.
Lovely.
So I really love that.
You're behind. Pay attention to the woman behind the curtain.
Ignore the woman behind the curtain. Oh, I love that table. Oh, that's awesome. That's what Gayle has is a table of quartz. Is that not amazing? I just love that. Oh, that is awesome.
This was actually gifted to me by my landlord at this space. He found it walking through the woods. Yeah. And there's a lot of Lemurian seed crystals in this table.
That's amazing.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about with Lemurian seed crystals, you'll see these little strangely pointed ones, and they have these lines on the side. And when you're
striations.
The striations. And when you are in meditation with one of those, it's said that you can run your fingernail across those striations and receive messages and information that have been embedded in those crystals for millions of years.
Yeah, and really you don't even have to run. All you need to do is place your finger. And it's amazing what will come through. That is a perfect piece for anybody. Gayle, I don't know if you've ever done this. I know you work with crystals as well, but if you have a chair and you place that table under the chair and do a meditation with it under you, it will rock your world.
I'm going to have to do that because right now I've got it underneath the coffee table that's next to my easy chair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to try that and actually it's like slide it under one of the chairs that I meditate from. That's a great idea.
It is. I'm over here and I'm like vibrating just from seeing that and the thought of putting it under my chair. Awesome. I'm like going, oh my gosh. That is awesome. Yes. Yeah. I'm one of my goals is not like right now because it is like too hot for us. We're not used to this heat. Is to actually start getting out and hiking more. And Kevin, when he has gone hiking in the woods in New Hampshire, way back when he did some hunting one season, he brought me back some beautiful boulders, but I'd like to go. I've been reading about things like those tables and other things that people have found hiking. I need to remember to make sure I bring a gift to give back as well, so that I'm not just taking something, but I'm leaving a gift. And here's the thing, just because you see it and you're like, oh my God, I want it, doesn't mean it's necessarily supposed to come home with you. I've had that happen where I've seen things hiking and I'm like, oh, I'd love to bring that home with me. No, that's not for me. Okay, well, thank you. I'll keep moving.
And always you can ask the objects, you can ask the ethers. Do you want to go home? Would you like to come play with me? And they will let you know. Nope, I'm not yours. I'm supposed to be here. Or, you'll get this bubbly excitement, like, let's do it.
Let's go play. Yeah. And so, and that's a lot of fun. Hey, and if anybody's interested in going on hikes or tree bathing, I'm not going to expect that Tracy will, because that means nature will be touching her. However, if you're not opposed to nature touching you, that's something I would love to start.
I'm going to write that down. I am not opposed to nature touching me.
I'm not opposed to nature touching me. Yeah, Tracy's really funny. She's like, I don't like nature touching me. I can be in nature as long as it doesn't touch me. I'm like, okay.
I would love over Niagara Falls Forget the Maid of the Mist. Pretty from over there.
So
awesome.
All right. So let's go to the number.
That's where I was going.
Excellent. So the number of the day is 3. So 3 is a really powerful number. It's a really great number if you really think about it. You know, in religion, it's, you know, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in Catholicism. And in other religions, you know, it can be like Jesus or God, Jesus, and Mary. Then you have in not religion, of course, the elements, 3 of the elements, which is earth, wind, and fire. Mm-hmm. You know, which makes a triad. Think of it as being the triads. For us, in where we are in our life, in our tongue-in-cheek way of thinking of 3 Crones, we use the number 3, which is powerful, for being the maiden mother crone, right? Maiden mother crone. And we are, you know, the fun part of crone, which is the wisdom years. And that's what we're doing. But it also is, when you're talking about numerology, it's in terms of communications. Again, going back to communication, right? I really feel like that's what had been a big thing for us for this month in June, is about communication. And so think about for today, are there things that you need to communicate? Like, are there appointments you need to make? I had to do that already today. I made one appointment. And, you know, now I'm just thinking about it. I have to call and make another appointment when we're done with the show. So this is a great day to think, you know, to get those actions going and to think about things that need to happen, not just for today, but maybe, you know, a few weeks, even months down the road. What kind of communicating can you do in order to be proactive, to get yourself lined up for success?
Right.
So, you know, and again, it goes back to those emotions, right? Of feeling everything all at once. If you want to have that sense of, okay, I want to control, I need control. This is part of it. Believe it or not, being proactive is very much that, oh, I got myself together. Things are all good and we're in control here. So so today, the number 3 is just reminding us, let's be proactive at communicating about things that need to happen, not just our emotions. There's more to communicating in life than just your emotions. You know, think about that. It can be a grocery list.
Oh yeah,
I need to do that too.
I mean, when you start talking about communication, I mean, there's verbal, there's written, there's body language, there's subtle, vibrational, you know, like there's all kinds of ways that we communicate with each other. Sometimes by gestures.
That is true as well.
One of the things that I love about the number 3 is it always comes to me in the axiom of where 2 or more are gathered, there I am. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you and I are speaking, we're inviting Wu to be present, right?
Exactly.
And that is, you know, that is, I guess, just like the source that I go back to when I think about the number 3 and the communication and the fact that I can sit here and I can think the same thoughts, all right, as I could think and speak to you, right? But it's not until I think them and speak them to you, right, that they live in the space between us. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we can choose to take action, modify whatever comes next. But it's not until there's another person involved that is the receiver that this bubble comes between us that causes a possibility, right? And that's that trinity, that number 3, that structure that allows power to be spread.
Exactly. And a triangle, think of it when it's an equilateral triangle, which is 3 sides, 3 corners, 3 angles, right, that are equal. There is strength in that.
Yes.
There is strength in that equilateral triangle. Not saying that other triangles aren't strong, but just exceptionally, the equilateral triangle has a lot of strength in that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Lovely. Great segment. Well, all right. Moving along. All right. Harmonizing heart and mind. Like Krista said, we've been talking about communication for a long time. We've been dealing with blue crystals, which are all about the throat chakra and getting that vibrational out there and what we're speaking and saying and doing, right? Now, it's very interesting to me over the last 5 weeks, right? And June is a month with 5 weeks in it. And we are in the 1, 2, 3, 4 week. Okay.
Yeah, we're in the 4th week.
No, you're right. I'm looking at the calendar across the room in a bad way. So since Memorial Day, okay, the unofficial start to summer, not talking about solstice, but the unofficial start of summer, we have been dealing with 3 different blue stones.
Yep.
The Baltic amber, which is all about the feeling comforted and cozy and healing and that type of thing. And now we've got this crystal, right? The quartz crystal that's meant to amplify, right? Whether it's a singlet, whether it's a table, whether it's a cluster, whether it's polished, whether, whatever kind of tips it may have on it, whether it's snow quartz, right? All of these forms of quartz are meant to amplify. So what is that telling us? What is the message that the woo is sending, right? We're healing our communications and allowing that to amplify, to grow, to magnify, right? And we've been coming out of the old age where it's been a top-down type of hierarchy into this new age where it is a peer-to-peer format, if you will, like we see in TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of these social media things that allow people with wisdom or talent to find their tribe without the permission of the up above, right? And as we are now at a point where we have gotten out of the way all of those things that were cock blocking us in life, right?
That's right.
And now we can start that number 3, communication, to put out there what it is that we want people to now know about us, about what we have to offer, about what we do. And I think that's probably part of the reason why this this particular week is so very important and what it's all coming together with the communication, with the number 3, with all of that. Oh, goodness. Kind of lost my train of thought there. So all of this is coming up because why I naturally started bringing in Magic Hat and retail therapy with Sue at CAI, Classic Act Imports, okay? Because this is the growing into that coven space, that all of us starting to come together and sharing and supporting with one another, all right? We will no longer, not that we did to begin with, but as a society, as our niche in society, we will no longer be communicating in such a way that doesn't support, uphold, and celebrate the wonderful things around us. We've got no time to talk about negative things. We've got no time to set blame. We've got no time or energy or interest in wasting a single breath on anything that does not bring joy, love, money, or orgasms. All right?
I love that.
We're done with that. We're going forward into that realm of curiosity. How good can this get?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can I share my spotlight with this other person who's doing something phenomenal, right? How can I collaborate and partner with those who are in that same sphere of, well, that was mispronounced, sphere of life, you know? If you're in the financial sector, where's your tribe? Where are your people that, you know, if I can't serve you, I can send you here, right? I know these people that can help you as well. And there's no scarcity here, because there's going to be a million people out there that will be acting the same way in your direction. People that they can't help, that because you have communicated who you are, what you offer, and your vibe checks, right? They'll be sending you people that they can't help, right? This whole community space that we're walking into with this new age of Aquarius, right? And the moon being in Aquarius today, there's a lot of the feeling of this, okay? Right? So this is going forward in a way that literally will bring our heart and our minds into the same realm where we can actually have that alignment, right? And that field of energy. Now, did you know harmonically that your heart creates a field of energy around you, which expands out, and why your vibe enters a room before you do? You know?
Yes, it does. I love that.
Right. And short story time. My ex and I had a dog named Samson, and we called him Samson because his strength was in his fur. He was a beautiful dog, right? And my ex had a buddy. His name, I'll call him Gary. That's not his real name. And Gary was a little strange. He was definitely one of those poor kids that got bullied a lot in school. Probably didn't wear clean clothes to school very often. Probably didn't have a healthy packed lunch either. He was just one of those kids that the bully kids just tore into, right? And to have a friend at all, you know, was very special to him. And my ex was a very good friend to him. And he would come over, and when he would show up at the door, Samson would go freaking nuts. You know, just go nuts. And Samson didn't do that with anybody else. Okay. Oh. And over the course of a summer, Samson would start acting up as Gary was further and further away from the house. Gary's vibe preceded him, and my dog could feel it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, dogs are far more sensitive than humans, but know that energy doesn't cease to exist just because we don't have the skills to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
Our receiving system's a lot more subtle than a dog's. Maybe not quite so far-reaching as a dog's, but we definitely can pick up on somebody else's vibe and, you know, act accordingly, right? So all of that, just basically to say, your vibe definitely does enter the room before you do, right?
Yes, for sure.
So you want to make sure that, you know, if you're going to use that quartz, right, to amplify your vibe, you want to make sure that your vibe is on board, that your heart and your mind align with the words that you say that come out of your mouth, fulfill the actions that you speak, right? Mm-hmm. All of that. And when we are in that alignment of the harmonization of the heart and the mind, right, then what we put out into the universe, through our spirit, through our soul, through our reputation, through our vibration, through all of these aspects of us that bump up against other people's aspects of them. When that is in alignment, you cannot fail. There is no failure.
Yeah.
There's collaboration. There's resolutions. There's solutions. There's communication. There's allowing another person to carry the ball because it's their part of the relay, right? And clapping from them from the sidelines as they're doing the things that maybe you wish you could do, but it's not your turn to do right then. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you have any questions about how you can get more in alignment, have your integrity carry the day. And when I say the word integrity, I think of it like Star Trek, okay? When you've been hit by a few photon blasts, right?
Yeah.
You end up with these little holes in your force field, and your ship's integrity is in question, right? Because you're missing pieces, you're missing parts, your grid is not complete, okay? So when you want to increase your integrity, look at where you've said that you were going to do something and didn't, and then didn't clean that up with anybody, right? Because you can clean it up. Like I said I was going to do this, but schedule's not working that way. I'm not going to be able to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's integrity. You know, not doing the thing is not a lack of integrity. Not communicating about not doing the thing so that it can be taken care of by somebody else maybe is the integrity, right? So don't be afraid to actually speak up and say, hey, look, this is not going to happen this way, right? Whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's family, whether it's your children, right? And with our children, we lose a lot of integrity because there's all that do as I say, not as I do. There's all that, you know,
yeah,
where you can't have soda, but mama's going to have a large Pepsi, you know?
That's right. Yep.
You know? So where can you clean up your integrity this week and be even more powerful in what it is that you personally are putting out there in the world? How can you amplify your integrity to have the world show up the way that you declare it can be, right? I can't wait to see what you produce this week. Feel free to come into the group and say something about it. What are you up to this week? We'd love to hear more about that, because guess what? This week's card of the day is the Ace of Wands. Don't you just love it? Don't you?
It's awesome.
Last week we had the Ace of Pentacles, and guess what? More money showed up in my life. Oh my gosh. Yeah, more money showed up in my life. Surprisingly, it was very, very interesting this week. All right. Now, Ace of Wands, I love the wands because they're like literally like a magic wand.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was thinking. A magic wand.
Yep. You take a little action and this can happen, right? Aces are always gifts. They're a seed. They're the impetus to start something. So what is it that you want to start this week? Wave your magic wand. Communicate. Get your tribe together. You, your buddy, another friend. All of these things. Amplify what it is that you are up to and make sure that others know. Because this week's affirmation, I am inspired and energized and ready for life's adventure.
Love it.
Isn't it great?
It is great. And remember, life are the adventures that you choose to create.
I love that very much.
I love that. Isn't that fun?
It is.
That's how we've been living. Life is the adventures that we choose to create.
Yes. I love it. All right, my friends, my coven of joy, my dear Krista, Class Act Imports, Magic Hat, and all of you who come to watch us each and every week. Thank you so very, very much. You make Tuesdays a joy for us. and we love you. Take care. We'll see you again really soon.